right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, zooming in from all over the country, and it's only appropriate to have people from the trucking community zooming, given what the industry does so efficiently on roads and highways across the country. I know technically speaking you're not on Zoom, but you know what I'm talking about. Thank you for coming along with us today. Welcome to the 2020 Castrol Vecton Industry Awards, and I'll pause for you at home to applaud at home. I didn't hear you. I'm just assuming that you did. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live today from our, I have to say, very cool studios here at the ICC in Sydney, live into your homes, your offices, your home offices, your gardens, garages, workshops, wherever you are. Hopefully you can hear and see us absolutely fine. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the respective lands on which we are all meeting today, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I also wish to extend this acknowledgement to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be present and viewing today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Klein. I'm virtually an MC, delighted that Dean and Emily and the ATA team have invited me here to be involved as your online host, possibly because if people tune in late to this broadcast, they might actually think that the ATA has somehow managed to wrangle Koshi to host this, given that I am very proudly the 9-time runner-up in the Koshi lookalike competition. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge thank you to our TMC online major sponsors, PACCAR and Dealer Network, and an even huger thanks to this evening's sponsors, Castrol Vecton, and I will pause because I trust that you are all giving them a standing ovation and thanking them for their support right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great session ahead for you, including our 30 Years of Technical Advancements panel. We're going to have a chat with V8 Supercar drivers Rick Kelly and Cameron Waters, and of course, the Castrol Vecton Awards. And yes, this awards ceremony, I think it's fair to say, is a little different. It's actually very different to other awards nights, apart from the fact that it isn't evening in most parts of Australia, it's late afternoon. It's very different to other awards programs that we've had in years gone by. And yes, this would, under normal circumstances, which we're not in, but this would normally be a glittering gala dinner where you could chat and drink and network and hang out and laugh with thousands of other members of the trucking industry. And let's be right about it, we do all miss that this year. But there are upsides. The upside is that you don't actually have to get dressed up, and I reckon a lot of people are very happy about that. You also can't complain about the food this year. You can't complain about the air conditioning or who you're sitting with or whether you're too far away from the stage or whether you're on a dud table. Can't complain about any of that. Instead, you get to relax and watch from the comfort and safety of your couches in your tracky dacks or wherever you are. And if you get bored with any of our speeches, you can simply shut your laptop and we'll never know. There are many advantages, but don't do that. I do encourage you and ask you, don't do that. You won't need to do that. This is going to be a lot of fun, and as you can tell, it is quite different. So what I'm going to ask you to do is please interact with us, send us your comments via the conference platform and share in the excitement. We would love to hear any comments that you have this afternoon or this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The trucking industry, I think it's fair to say, has seen its fair share of changes, not just in the last year, but more importantly, changes over the last 30 years or so. And here to share some stories and some insights into this is our 30 Years of Technical Advancements panel. Each of our panellists have had a long history in the transport industry, and all the members of the ATA's Industry Technical Council, ITC. Please join me in welcoming, first of all, Bob Woodward. Bob is Chief Engineer at the Australian Trucking Association. He's been involved in the road freight industry since the early 70s. He has missed during COVID, being able to go flying in his glider, but I believe he has just stepped inside a plane again. Welcome to Bob. We've got Trevor Dickson. Trevor has worked at PACCAR Australia for nearly 40 years now and is well known in the industry, having been actively involved with TMC since it first began back in 1996. Welcome to Trevor. We've got Jodie Broadbent. Jodie is National Safe Transport Manager at Visy. She is a heavy vehicle compliance expert and has been actively involved in the road freight industry since she was a young child. And last, but by no means least, our final panellist, Greg Brown. Greg is Technical Manager for the MaxiTRANS Group. He's been in the transport manufacturing industry now for well over 30 years, on the forefront of industry innovation, and he loves nothing more during COVID than walking along Torquay Beach with his dogs. Welcome to our panel. Give us a wave. How are you all doing?
Good.
Excellent, good.
Thank you, Andrew.
Excellent, nice to see you, and we can see and hear you very, very clearly. Bob, let's start with you with our first question. Our panel today, as I said, is made up of long-standing Industry Technical Council members, ITC. Bob, tell us, what is ITC?
Andrew, ITC is a working committee of the Australian Trucking Association. The ITC's role is to enhance the trucking industry's safety, professionalism and viability by providing technical input and best practice advice to the ATA. Established in 1994, the ITC and its members work to advance technical excellence in the trucking industry. The major published output of ITC is the Technical Advisory Procedures, Safety Alerts and Technical Bulletins, which are documents developed by ITC containing technical advice on a range of industry issues. The ITC makes technical recommendations to the ATA's General Council, policy committees and the ATA Secretariat. ITC members may be also nominated to represent the ATA and trucking industry on Government and Standards Australia technical committees.
Excellent, thanks Bob. Jodie, let's go to you. You've been involved in the industry and in ITC for many years now. Tell us, how have things changed from when you first joined, and what role has ITC played in those changes?
Thanks, Andrew. I think when I first joined, I was one of the first women to join the ITC. We now have a really diverse group of members on the ITC. There's men and women from different cultures. There's a great range of knowledge and information that is shared. And I think over that time that it's changed, we've probably become more open, being able to have quick discussions with people over the phone or via a Zoom meeting. We've all become very used to that this year. It just makes everybody so much more accessible.
We have certainly become very, very comfortable with those Zoom chats, as we're having now. Bob, let me just ask you, there's also been, let's just say, significant improvements in the roadworthiness of fleets, with lots of benefits flowing from that for road safety. In the mid-1990s, I was about to say BMWs, B-doubles played a big role in this. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Certainly, Andrew. The B-double originated in Canada, where they are referred to as B-trains. The Australian B-double story started way back in August 1979 with a letter that landed on Bob Pearson's desk, who was then an engineer with the Country Roads Board of Victoria. And Bob Pearson is referred to as the father of B-doubles in Australia. And the uptake of B-doubles was slow. Western Australia was first in 1982 and 1983 with 17-metre B-doubles. And by 1987, there were 32 B-doubles in service around Australia, and only one operated across a state border. In 1988, what a year. There were now 82 B-doubles in service. There was a major anti-B-double campaign by a Melbourne newspaper, and the world's first B-double with a triaxle at the rear using a standard trailer. It wasn't until 1991 that the first B-double ran from Melbourne to Sydney on the Hume Highway, and coincidentally, that same year, Bob Pearson predicted we'd soon be trialling B-triples. 1992, try B-double trials and then approval. Industry is looking to the next productivity and safety initiative, and for Australia's benefit, it's needed now.
Thanks, Bob. Trevor, let's go across to you. PACCAR and its dealer network have had a long-standing relationship with the ATA and TMC. Tell us, why are events like TMC so important to the industry, and what value would you say it brings?
I think the biggest thing, and what we've got to look at, is that the conference actually started as the technical and maintenance conference, and then a few years ago moved to being the technology and maintenance conference. And really, that's pretty much what it's all about. I think it's providing access for information to users that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And in this country, we're a little unique in that I think we have more people, maybe because of our distances and isolation, but we have a lot more fleets that have their own mechanics and own service people looking after their trucks. And as the trucks get more and more complicated, they need to be more on the ball in terms of their servicing. And TMC gives them access to information that they wouldn't otherwise get, and the opportunity to be able to talk face to face to the manufacturers, to suppliers of those manufacturers, to regulators, to a whole bunch of people that can make their businesses more professional, is just, it's unrivaled. There's nothing that does it the same way. And I think particularly since we've moved to a multi-stream format, which we did about 10 years ago, which now covers regulatory as well as occupational health and safety. TMC is the full package. I think it offers, I know Ben Maguire made the comment at one time that he felt that maybe TMC would become the biggest thing for the ATA rather than just the annual Trucking Australia conference, because what we provide is so important.
Absolutely. Thanks, Trevor. Greg, thank you for waiting patiently for your question. You've led a lot of industry innovation in the course of your career, including the development of the rollback system used on MaxiCube lead trailers. Can you tell us a little bit about the system?
Yeah, there has been lots of innovation. Thank you, Andrew. The rollback traditionally was driven by a chain or something that rolled the lead body backwards to dock load against the dock. It rolled back on various arrangements of rollers and wheels and things that wore out. The bearings wore out. It wore a hole in the main rail. It got bogged. It wouldn't move. So our innovation was to, when the body was in a travelling position, we lifted it up off the rail, mounted it on some plastic pads so that it didn't rock around, didn't rock on the lock pin, so it didn't wear the main rails out, didn't destroy the bearings and the rollers. So it had quite an ingenious system that as it got into that almost front position, it would engage a lower gear and winch itself up onto those plastic pads so that the rollers were clear of the rail. It involved no valving, no switching, no electrics, almost no lubrication. So it was quite an ingenious thing, and it's still used today, very successfully and mimicked by some others. So it's been very good for us.
Great stuff, Greg. We might stick with you. More recently, you've been part of a group leading the ITC's Proof of Concept Converter Dolly project. Can you tell us a little bit about what led to this project and what was actually involved?
Yeah, the big driver behind that was probably Bob Woodward, who's on this panel. But we think very similar on the traditional road train dolly that handles poorly, doesn't handle rough going very well. It doesn't handle high-speed lane changes and things because it rocks around. It's very unstable. It's got 3 degrees of movement, so nothing holds the dolly frame straight. So over many years, we've talked about it, and eventually Bob put a program together along with some other good supporters. And so we built a rigid drawbar dolly, which removes the pivoting drawbar, which has rubber bushes, which allow some movement, and that's the lateral stability that you lose. And it has a almost zero bump steer suspension, so that as you hit bumps, it doesn't try and steer the dolly, which gets amplified back along the road train. So the reports of it, all been from road train operators, are all been very positive. The handling is very good. No nose diving when it's braking or accelerating. So it's been accepted very well, and it should be successful in the future for the industry.
Great, thanks, Greg. Jodie, to you, still on technology. Technology within the industry, as we've already heard, it's constantly changing. What do you expect to see in the next few years in that space?
Been amazed at how technology has improved over the years. It's becoming more accurate. It's assisting drivers more, which is who we want to keep safe at the end of the day. I think in the future there'll be a less reliance on technology from a compliance perspective. It'll be used more as a safety tool, much the same as you put on steel cap boots in the morning. You know, you'll have tools that are technology based that will help drivers in their everyday jobs, and the same in maintenance systems as well. That technology will be there to, you know, provide lead indicators rather than lag indicators that something's going wrong.
Excellent. Thanks, Jodie. Trevor, we're almost on the last question. We've got a couple more. Trevor, over to you. I hear over the years that you've played a really important role at TMC entertaining delegates. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I guess I have developed a bit of a bad reputation, but the TMC every year we have, or started about 10 years ago, having what we call the PACCAR Parts Fun Night. And it was just a casual event that was designed originally just to get people talking to each other. And one great way of doing that is having somebody basically wandering around and pulling everybody's pants down, which is pretty much what I do on the night. And I must admit, sometimes some of the things I've said to people with everybody else laughing at them, Jodie, Bob, you know, sometimes I thought, geez, I've gone too far. But every time people come to the next day and say, I had a fantastic night last night. And I think what it does, it just gets people talking to each other. And, you know, the great thing about this industry is the relationships. And I think the peer relationships is probably the best way to put it. It doesn't matter where you are in this industry, everybody's a peer. And so consequently, a little bit of fun just to, you know, get people to relax, start talking to each other, develops that conference community. And I think it's been a really, really good thing. And certainly I look forward to every year. I don't know about anybody else, but...
Absolutely, and that's either one of the advantages or disadvantages this year that you won't be able to do that live in person. Bob, final question for you to finish up. I've got a clip that we'd like to share with the audience, so let's roll that clip now.
Well, I've been in the truck. I reckon it's time you got in my plane, and I'll show you what it's all about from my side of things.
Yep, and we go. Ready, set, go. Holy shit! That is unbelievable. Excellent. Better than excellent.
Better than excellent. Bob, tell us, what were we just watching then? What was going on?
That was the lead up to TMC 2018. And obviously we couldn't bring Matt Hall's aircraft to TMC, so I went to Lake Macquarie and went for a bit of a fly with Matt in the Extra 300. Pretty exciting. I had previously flown aerobatics myself, but I've never flown anything like that. And unfortunately on that particular day I had a really bad bout of hay fever, and all of those G's didn't do it a whole lot of good, and especially not the inverted ones. But I had a fantastic time, and I recommend the opportunity to anybody to go for a fly with Matt. And he's really, really, really good for people, because if you've had enough of something, his rule is just tell me to stop and I'll stop, except if we're pointing at the ground.
Wonderful, wonderful, Bob. You look a lot healthier right now when I'm looking at you than in that video, but thanks for allowing us to share that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for. So to Bob and Trevor and Jodie and Greg, to each and every one of you, thanks so much for joining us online, and we look forward to all getting together in person soon. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keeping your trucks on the road is a 24-hour-a-day marathon. Massive loads, killer temperatures, extreme pressures, severely testing you and your fleet. That's why we field tested our oils to the severest conditions we could find on the world's toughest track, with trucks pounding a total of 2.5 million kilometers in 1 year. And what did we prove? Castrol Vecton Long Drain CK4 with System Pro technology increase drain intervals by a minimum 50%, delivering up to 80,000 kilometre drain intervals. Castrol Vecton System Pro technology has an extra performance reserve for longer useful oil life to keep you and your fleet up and running, no matter what the pressures. It's proven on the world's toughest track. If it works here, it'll work anywhere. Castrol Vecton. Maximize your drain interval. Maximize your profit.
Castrol, it's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
Right, and a big thank you again to the Castrol team. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to chat to our very special guests, V8 Supercar Superstars, Rick Kelly and Cameron Waters. We're going to chat with them about their racing careers, some highlights from their careers and some interesting insights and stories from the track. Rick is a two-time winner of the Bathurst 1000 and a former series champion. And I think it's fair to say he's the man with the finest hairstyle in the pit lane, while Cameron capped the 2020 season with 4 consecutive podium finishes, including breaking the lap record at Mount Panorama when he took pole for this year's Bathurst 1000. And he is the only driver I know to have worn a helmet at Bathurst featuring a cartoon snowman attacking a cartoon dinosaur. Let's bring them in now. Here they are live with us. Rick and Cameron, how you doing, guys?
How you going?
G'day, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for joining us. You've both had a huge year. We might start with you, Rick. What have been some of your key standouts of 2020?
Oh, it's been such a whirlwind year, I think, for everyone in every industry. For us, it was our first year with Ford and the Mustang, which was pretty exciting. So we got one race in and half of the second race in before we went into the first lockdown and shifted our focus to an E-Series where we drove some simulators, which was pretty interesting. And then we got forced across the border to stay away from our workshop, and I embarked on a really incredible road trip around Australia to follow the championship, until it come to an end at Bathurst. So for us, it wasn't quite ideal because the first year in the Mustang, we needed to get back to the workshop and develop it. But it's hard to pick just one little highlight from that year because it's been such a different year to any other I'd done, and I've done about 18 or 19 full years of the championship now. So it was pretty cool. The road trip was probably the most epic thing I've done as a part of my career, following the championship around through all the different states, obviously excluding WA and Tassie.
Thanks, Rick. Cameron, what about you? How's your 2020 been?
I had a really solid year. So, obviously COVID was pretty challenging for a lot of people, but for us, we still got our season underway, and to get to the other end and finish at Bathurst, second on the podium, but then second in the points as well, was really, really good, and a really good step up for us from the previous year. Probably that shootout lap was pretty special though, so it all come together somehow, and did a pretty cool lap.
Excellent. Rick, you've had a pretty big announcement. You've announced that you've retired as a driver. How have you felt after making that announcement, and what's the reaction been from your fans and your colleagues?
Yeah, I did that a little bit differently. I announced I was stepping away from full-time driving after the last round, so I could sort of focus on Bathurst, even though it ended up going very poorly for us. But yeah, it's one of those things. I still want to do a fair bit of driving, probably in supercars, but in a few other forms of motorsport as well. The reaction was pretty interesting. I'd never thought much about what the reaction would be. I just thought about the right way to do it, and speaking to the key players in my my world and the ones that have helped me through my career. And that went pretty well. And then after the announcement, it was a little bit like watching your own funeral with the messages that come rolling in. So yeah, it's been pretty good since then. I'm sure Cameron and the rest of the drivers as well have had a little bit of time off. It's been a good bit of time off for us, considering we were back-to-back events and on the road for 3 or 4 months in a row. So I've really enjoyed that. I've got a lot of unfinished projects around the house that I've started to get stuck into, and for that 3 or 4 months, we actually lived in a 13-foot caravan on the road. So when I come home, it was a very different thing for me, looking at all the stuff I've got through the house. So we had a huge clean out. If we live in a 13-foot house, then we don't need all this stuff that we've got everywhere. So it's been a good time since.
Excellent stuff. Cameron, you secured a new record this year at Bathurst. Give us a little bit of an insight. What sort of preparation goes into achieving the fastest lap ever?
You need a lot of things to go well. So obviously you need a fast car, and this year we've been developing our car and getting it a little bit nicer and doing what kind of us drivers are needing it to do. And you get to Bathurst, you need the conditions to be right, you need the motor to be on song, and you need just every single star to align. And it did for us, thank God. And it was a very special lap to be inside doing it, just having so much grip under you, and the car doing everything that you want it to do was very special.
I'm sure it was. We've actually got, Cameron, some footage of that lap, which we're going to roll, and I'd like you to talk us through it as we go. So let's have a look at it. And Cameron, give us your thoughts as we're watching.
Yeah, cool. So obviously you start the lap, you want a good exit here, and you really want to get through turn 1 well and get a good run up that mountain straight. So it's a long straight here and a lot of time to be gained. So I knew that I was probably about 2/10 up on my previous laps through here, which was really good because it sets your whole lap up, and you can kind of attacking parts where your car's strong, and then just be a little bit more cautious through some other sectors. So up into the cutting up to here, a good indicator is how much rev limiter you get, and got quite a lot, and then try to carry that speed in.
I might just ask Rick. Rick, give us an idea at this point of the track. What are drivers thinking about? What's going on in their heads?
Well, we were watching this lap from the pits. We were wondering how the hell he was doing it, and whether we could match it, and knowing full well that we couldn't. It's a pretty incredible thing for Cam to get his headspace in a position to be able to do this lap, whether you've got the grip or not, being able to actually execute it and pull it together. And if you look at this bit here, he has a huge moment in one of the scariest parts of the track and recovers from it and still goes on to put that lap together. So that, like Cam said, the car's in the window, but I think it's even more difficult to get the driver and the driver's head in the window, and that's what Cam's got here. So for us watching this back in the pits, it wasn't one of those things where we envied his position. It was more excitement for him, and awesome for us to be able to watch someone that's in that position put the whole lap together.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for giving us those insights. It's great to see it and hear it from your perspectives. Just before we go, guys, you were both born in Mildura. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but is there something in the water there that produces great drivers? Cam, what are your thoughts? Mildura.
I don't know if there's anything in the water, but there's a lot of motorsport around Mildura. Obviously, go-kart, speedway bikes, drag racing. So, there's a lot of motorsport up there, and a lot of people love it. And I guess the more people doing it, you're going to get the few odd people which make it and do great things. So I'm just very lucky to have made it to where I am today.
Excellent. Final question for you both. Rick, we'll start with you. What can we expect in 2021 with your teams?
Yeah, 2021 is going to be an interesting time. The first round is always fantastic to see where everyone's gone over the off-season. Some people have gone on holidays. Some people have stayed at the workshop and developed their cars and come out really strong. I'm not exactly sure on the latest information, but I think it might start the championship at Bathurst, which is where we just finished. So it'll be a great indicator at the first round as to who's done a lot of work over the off season and has come out really well. But obviously, like you've touched on with Cam, he's finished second in the championship. So second at Bathurst, I think, was a fantastic event, plus the pole position. But to finish second in the championship is massive, only behind Scott McLaughlin, who's now moved overseas. So that's going to be, for me sitting at home, that's going to be definitely one to watch. And there's been a lot of changes in a lot of teams up and down pit lane as well. So I think it's going to be a really interesting season to watch how all that plays out and who comes out of the blocks really strong. But beyond that, it's also the last year of the Car of the Future chassis before all the teams move to what they've called next gen. So that'll be interesting for 2022 to see who's able to build a fast car for that one as well. So yeah, plenty of excitement I think around supercars for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. And Cam, final word from you. What does 2021 hold?
I guess Rick touched on it a little bit to work out where everyone goes for next year. But for Tickford, we're in a very good position. Obviously finished second in the points and second at Bathurst and very quick at in qualifying. Really sets us up well for 2021. So yeah, next year we're after a championship. So we're just working through what we need to do to be able to get one.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck to you both, guys. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you joining us this evening. Take care and stay safe.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Have a great night.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will be back after this short break as we get underway very shortly with the prestigious Castrol Vecton Awards.
Keeping your trucks on the road is a 24-hour-a-day marathon. Massive loads, killer temperatures, extreme pressures, severely testing you and your fleet. That's why we field tested our oils to the severest conditions we could find on the world's toughest track, with trucks pounding a total of 2.5 million kilometres in 1 year. And what did we prove? Castrol Vecton Long Drain CK4 with System Pro technology increased drain intervals by a minimum 50%, delivering up to 80,000 kilometre drain intervals. Castrol Vecton System Pro technology has an extra performance reserve for longer useful oil life to keep you and your fleet up and running, no matter what the pressures. It's proven on the world's toughest track. If it works here, it'll work anywhere. Castrol Vecton. Maximize your drain interval. Maximize your profit.
Castrol, it's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Brad Appleton. I'm the head of sales for our B2B channel at Castrol. Firstly, thank you to the Australian Trucking Association for this opportunity to say a few words this evening on behalf of Castrol. I take great pride in being a part of an organisation like Castrol with such a rich history. Castrol was founded with a pioneering vision and a commitment to forward thinking that has left its mark within everything we do. This is combined with a philosophy of working in partnership with our customers and consumers, always responding to their changing needs. As many of us are experiencing, the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic is causing unprecedented global disruption with significant impacts affecting our families, our friends, our colleagues, and our communities. We are all touched by this global challenge, and our thoughts are with all who have been personally impacted by the virus. We all have a role to play in pulling together during this difficult time. Thank you for being a loyal Castrol customer. We are committed to working with you as we face challenges of this fast-changing and highly complex situation. As the next chapter unfolds, we are set to look beyond lubricants, recognising the importance that mobility, connectivity and autonomy will play as we move forward in the future. The Castrol team are closely connected with the trucking market and are renowned for proactively recommending and delivering innovative, market-leading service and maintenance products. Our pioneering spirit and continued innovation are embodied by Castrol Vecton, Australia's first certified carbon neutral diesel engine oil. The Castrol Vecton Carbon Reduction Program has been audited by global firm Ernst & Young and continues to be certified annually in the international PAS 2060 standard. Using a carbon neutral product like Castrol Vecton will help reduce your business's carbon account in your supply chain, reducing your impact on climate change and allowed you to make a positive impact on the Australian environment. Success in the trucking business is all about moving forward whilst looking back to learn from the past. Castrol is committed to listening to the trucking customers and realising the potential of the industry, enabling it to move forward for many years to come. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We've got hundreds of people online watching. I just wanted to give a shout out to just three of those people who are actively chatting away on the chat line. Hello to Melissa Barry. G'day to Glenn Hambleton, and hi to Tony Wright from Goulburn. We just appreciate you not just being online but saying things on the chat line, so a shout out to you. And we've had Katrina Rosanita, who has sent her best of luck to all of the finalists. So thank you very much for that, Katrina, and thank you to the Rosanita family, no doubt, who are watching. So that's a lovely lead-in then, ladies and gentlemen, to our first award of the evening, which is the Craig Roseneder Award. For more than 20 years now, the Craig Roseneder Award has recognised technical and maintenance excellence in the workshop by an individual. Craig Roseneder was devoted to the development of a safer road transport industry. His passion, his excellence and his experience all combined to create a unique approach to resolving challenges which confronted the industry. And in his honour, this award celebrates the professionalism of the men and the women who work behind the scenes in the trucking industry's workshops. The winner of this award will not only receive national recognition, but they will also win an all expenses paid overseas trip. Do you remember them? Overseas trips back in the day when we could travel overseas, and we will again. They receive an all expenses paid overseas trip to attend the US Technology and Maintenance Council's annual meeting and transportation technology exhibition when that next takes place. To share his experiences of winning the award and heading over to the US, I'd now like to welcome the winner of the 2019 Craig Roseneder Award, Jason Barry.
Hi, I'm Jason from Border Crane Consultants. I was the 2019 Craig Roseneder Award winner. I was very excited to win the award, and it meant a lot to me and all of my work colleagues. Moving forwards, I believe that it's a great award, and the recognition and the acknowledgements received as a winner definitely goes a long way to boosting your career and also boosting the industry. Winning the award and taking the trip to America to TMC USA was an amazing experience. I got to meet a whole heap of technical experts and industry experts, suppliers. Basically got to review all of their standards and processes and, you know, dig deeper than what you can see on paper. The TMC guys in the US are amazing. Like their technical knowledge is way up there in the world and definitely relative to what we work with here in Australia. I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of amazing people and also bring back a lot of their knowledge and experience and processes and then implement them over here back in Australia. Congratulations to the 2020 Craig Roseneder nominees. I wish you all the best. And if you're unsuccessful, try again. Like it's worth competing for, and to have the experience. Good luck, everyone.
And thank you very much, Jason, for your very kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, now to welcome the 2020 Craig Roseneder Award finalists. Let's bring them on. We've got Jason Button, Maintenance Manager at CHS Broadbent in Victoria. Phil Cook, Workshop Manager at White Line Transport South Australia, and Dennis Ruin, General Manager, AJM Transport New South Wales. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Good, thanks.
Excellent. Good to see you and good to have you on board. Congratulations. It is time to reveal the winner of the 2020 Craig Roseneder Award. And congratulations go to Dennis Ruin, General Manager of AJM Transport.
Good on you, Dennis.
Good on you, Dennis. Great job.
Keep up.
That's great.
Excellent. Congratulations, Dennis. I could hear the other guys wishing you congratulations as well. But Dennis, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, certainly. Firstly, congrats to Phil and Jason for being finalists. Thanks firstly to the ATA, Castrol, for their support of the award. The award means a lot to me. I got to sit in the room nearly as a young 20-year-old, and to see the likes of Lance Fisher, Brian Fattel, and so forth get it. It's something I've aspired to try and do, and it's great. It's really, I'm stoked actually to finally get the award. To Anthony and Megan Mansell, who thanks for allowing me to run your ship here and steer it in the direction that we're going. And probably last but not least to my wife and family. My wife's put up with the phone ringing 24/7 for the last 18 odd years, and seldom have I heard a bad word come out of her mouth. She's allowed me to chase the dream all the way. So thanks to her.
Excellent. Congratulations, Dennis, and well done to you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Castrol Vecton Industry Awards would not be possible without the dedication of our awards judging panel. The judging panel's led by Trevor Martin, including the panel of David Smith, Vanda Power, Andrew Hachikaku, Carolyn Walsh and Jason Barry. These judges have the very difficult task of selecting finalists and winners from the large amount of very high quality nominations received. So on behalf of the trucking industry, a huge thank you to our judges. And ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the Castrol Vecton Industry Achievement Award. This award recognises technical innovation and achievement within the Australian trucking industry. A recipient of this award will be a group or an individual who has developed and implemented new technologies, designs or procedures in order to improve the industry's safety, efficiency or productivity. Through their work, a recipient of the Castrol Vecton Industry Achievement Award will have demonstrably improved not just their own operations, but also made these improvements available to the industry as a whole. The winner is selected from a range of exceptional people who do not need to nominate in order to be considered. It is with very great pleasure that I congratulate the winner of the 2020 Castrol Vecton Industry Achievement Award as the ITC Converter Dolly Project Supply Partners. Led by the ATA Industry Technical Council, the Converter Dolly project was developed with the support of MaxiTRANS, WABCO, Alcoa, Jost Australia, Bridgestone and Hendrickson. So to accept this award on behalf of the project group, I'd like to welcome back Greg Brown from MaxiTRANS. Greg, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, and it gives me great pleasure to accept the award on behalf of our partners, Wabco, Jost, Hendrickson, Bridgestone. And Jost, it wouldn't have happened without Bob Woodward driving it with his networking in the industry to make it happen. Bob and I thought it was a great idea from way back, but he put it together, and we were able to design it and put it together with our partners and came up with a very successful project. So it's a group effort from all of us. So thank you very much for the award.
Well done, Greg, to you and to the entire team. And a special well done to whoever it was who chose the moment of Greg starting his speech to just wander behind him. And does that not summarise 2020 for us? So congratulations, Greg and the team. Also, congratulations to all of our award finalists and a special congrats to our winners this evening. And thank you to our special guests as well, to Rick Kelly, to Cameron Waters, and to each and every member of the 30-year panel that we had earlier. And a special thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to our broadcast, being part of this very, very different 2020 awards. And also, I should let you know that all TMC online content is accessible for the rest of the week via the platform. Finally, a big thank you to our award sponsors, Castrol Vecton. We really, really appreciate your support. And TMC online major sponsor, PACCAR and Dealer Network. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you enjoyed this unprecedented, there's the word, and slightly unique awards program for 2020. Thank you for being involved. Take care and stay safe.